Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the city of El Paso set to receive almost $7 million for the migrant crisis.
A Victoria man is in custody on 4 charges. We go over that list this evening.
Plus, we hear from the experts at the Mid-Coast Hurricane and Disaster Conference on this year's hurricane season.
We got a little bit of sunshine this afternoon, helped get our temperature up to about 86. We're looking for another hot day on Friday. It's Saturday when I think we're going to get some shower activity. We'll be talking about it coming up.
And Ed and the Cowgirls signed this morning, and it's a big day for Victoria East softball. I'll have all that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
A former Calhoun County sheriff died last weekend. George Aleman retired as Calhoun County Sheriff in 2016. That ended his 41-year law enforcement career. Aleman also worked for the Port Lavaca and Point Comfort police departments. In the early 80s, he rose through the ranks to become a lieutenant in the Wharton Police Department. George Aleman was 71 years old. DPS arrested a Victoria suspect Thursday. 38-year-old Bradley Hernandez faces 4 charges, including manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance, evading arrest with previous convictions, and tampering with evidence with intent to impair. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $81,000 bond. Around 12:42 p.m., more than 3,000 AEP Texas customers lost power. AEP Texas tells us an 18-wheeler pulled down some power lines.
The resulting outage affected 3,300 customers. As of 5:30 p.m., 425 AEP Texas customers in Victoria County were still without power. AEP Texas says they do not have an estimated time for restoration of those affected customers at this time. So here's your viewer poll. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, were you affected by today's power outage? Yes or no? According to our results, it looks like 26% stand at yes and 74% stand at no. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10. And now let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez.
Well, thank you very much. Temperatures, of course, reflected the sun that we got finally today, 81 currently, but we managed to get up to 86 today, and for tomorrow, Friday, it's probably going to be about 87, 88. But then it's Saturday night, when I expect some shower activity to roll through. We'll be taking a look at all your weekend forecasts coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. It's a case we have been following since November. Lawyers for the man accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death in 2022 plan to use cell phone location records as an alibi. Brian Kohberger's defense plans to have an expert witness testify that on the night of the murders, Kohberger's phone was not in the town where the killings happened. Kohberger's attorneys say he was driving south of Pullman, Washington, and west of Moscow at the time. Those 2 towns are about 10 miles apart. Kohberger pleads not guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary.
More federal funding is going to El Paso to help deal with the migrant crisis.
The city and county will get a total of almost $7 million.
As we all know, the immigration process is broken. And until they fix it, it's up, as a border community, as a border city, we have a huge responsibility as asylum seekers come into the United States to, make sure they have shelter, to make sure that they have food.
El Paso Mayor Oscar Leeser also told me these funds they have previously applied will go towards having workers on the street when migrant numbers go up, because NGOs are a huge part of what the city and the county do to work with the migrant crisis.
So when you see the money being given to different entities, it's because we work so close together to make sure that we provide a service for the federal government.
The Department of Homeland Security announced that more than $2 million will be going to the city of El Paso, and more than $4.5 million will go to the county. As for local nonprofits, the Annunciation House is set to receive over $380,000. The Opportunity Center for the Homeless is granted $270,000.
The $2 million that we get, we're very thankful, but it's not even close to the amount of money we need to be able to provide the service for the federal government.
Mayor Leeser also told me the money the city could need or use whenever the number of migrant encounters go up depends on the search. Like in late 2022, the city was spending between $250,000 and $300,000 a day.
The federal government reimbursed us and gave us money to do that. So we prepare for the unknown, and they've been very good at making sure that this city stays whole and it's not on the back of the local taxpayer.
Uvalde Consolidated ISD opened its newly renovated weight room. This was made possible by the Iron Sharpens Iron initiative. It's a project aimed at providing cutting-edge athletic facilities for students across Texas. The initiative is dedicated to enhancing athletic programs by providing high-quality weight rooms designed to serve all students and athletes. Friday marks the 31st anniversary of the FBI's raid on the Branch Davidian Christian compound near Waco. On April 19, 1993, after a 51-day standoff, federal agents launched a tear gas attack on the group's buildings. Authorities say the leader, David Koresh, refused to surrender and set the Mount Carmel Center on fire. Shortly after that, the compound was engulfed in flames. Officials say 82 Branch Davidians, including 24 children, were killed in the incident. 4 federal agents also died.
The Victoria Emergency Management Office hosted the Mid-Coast Hurricane and Disaster Conference today at the Community Center. Participants heard from emergency management leaders, meteorologists, and other experts who deal with hurricane preparedness.
The water that's associated with these storms that kill the most people. So when there's an evacuation order for your area because of that water threat, please listen to it.
The experts predict this year will see a very active season with more than 20 named storms predicted. That's both tropical storms and hurricanes combined. Early voting for the May 4th election starts next Monday, April 22nd. Early voting will be at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center, 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A. Early voting hours for the first week are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube.
Anytime.
Stay with us. 911 call outages were reported in at least 4 states in the nation Wednesday night. Coming up on 25 News now at 6, what officials have to say.
Also ahead, independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. now qualifying to be on the Michigan ballot. Those details next.
A miscalculation cost a North Texas high school senior her valedictorian status and a scholarship. Maya Veliz says she was told by Blue Ridge High School administrators that her GPA locked her in as valedictorian over the last year. But Veliz says she was told last week there was a miscalculation over her transfer credits. She ended up actually 3rd in her class. Veliz says she already enrolled at the University of Texas for the fall. She believed her first year would be free since state universities award valedictorians a scholarship.
Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. qualifies for Michigan's ballot this November. Political analysts say Kennedy could play a major factor in that battleground state. President Joe Biden won Michigan in 2020, and former President Donald Trump won that state back in 2016. In both of those election years, the winning candidate took it by less than 1% of the vote. The Kennedy campaign says it has enough signatures to appear in Nebraska, North Carolina, and Iowa.
Cities in several states suddenly lost 911 service late Wednesday, forcing many residents to resort to texting and landlines to reach 911.
And while the service was largely restored by Thursday morning, the incident is another reminder how vulnerable critical systems really are.
To our knowledge, we have never experienced an outage of this magnitude or duration.
Officials in Sioux Falls, South Dakota confirmed that their 911 system suddenly went offline for just over 2 hours Wednesday night. And they weren't alone. Authorities in Texas, Nebraska, and Nevada also announced similar outages in multiple cities. The culprit, a fiber cut during the installation of a light pole, said Lumen Thursday morning, a networking company that provides enhanced 911 services to several U.S. states. A Lumen rep declined to tell CNN more details about the installation hiccup or where the light pole was located. Although a potential cause has been identified in this case, widespread outages like this across infrastructure, healthcare, and business systems nationwide are under increasing scrutiny by federal agencies and national security experts. Just this week, a cybersecurity firm said Russian hackers are suspected to have temporarily taken control of a computer network in the small town of Muleshoe, Texas in January. A similar cyber attack happened at a water plant in Pennsylvania last year that U.S. officials blame on Iranian hackers.
Command and control of critical systems has been under attack by hostile foreign powers.
As for the multi-state 911 outage, only 3 of the 4 states impacted are serviced by Lumen. Authorities in Del Rio, Texas said Thursday afternoon that their disruption was related to the mobile provider in their area. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Some postal carriers in Las Vegas took to the streets Wednesday, but they were not on their usual routes delivering mail. They took part in a demonstration in front of the U.S. courthouse. The carriers say they are tired of getting assaulted while on the job, and they fear for their safety. One postal employee said he was sucker punched on his route in 2020. They are calling for the U.S. Postal Service to funnel more funds to its investigative arm. They also want stronger sentences for those convicted of an attack.
Record heat caused record high rates of health emergencies in some parts of the U.S. last year. The CDC says during the warm season last year, heat-related illnesses accounted for a 20% larger share of emergency department visits than they did in the 5 previous seasons. CDC experts warn deaths and illnesses associated with heat exposure are a continuing public health concern. Climate change results in longer, hotter, and more frequent episodes of extreme heat. And it's that time of year again. Snakes are making their presence known across Texas.
And today, a Fort Worth mother and her son encountered a snake as they were leaving their home. As the mother grabbed her son to run away, the snake struck multiple times. They both have bruises from where they tripped and fell, running for safety. North Texas is home to several venomous and non-venomous snakes. Experts say you should do your best to stay calm and avoid moving fast. They also recommend keeping your lawn trimmed and cleared of debris this time of year.
Yeah, it's hard to stay calm when it's coming at you. Anyway, good afternoon, folks. We did get a little sunshine today, and because of the heating, we actually popped a couple of showers. They're actually up here in Matagorda County, right about there. Nothing significant. However, significant is this one. It's coming down toward the probably the Georgetown area, where they're going to get some heavy rain tonight. We'll be talking more about that and talk about your rain over the weekend after this. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're taking a look at the big picture across America, and as you can see, there's a little bit of winter left right about here. Of course, that's way up there in Winnipeg, so I guess they know all about it. For us, we actually had a few little sprinkle showers begin this afternoon, and also you might notice that down in northern Mexico, we're seeing some big thunder showers this afternoon as well. That's very interesting because that could affect us. Now, here's Bay City, here's Brazosport. You can see the little showers that sort of popped up late in the afternoon right about there. They're moving offshore. They're not a big problem, but it was exciting to see anything around our region. This afternoon, I don't need this kind of excitement, but some big thunderstorms are popping right about here. Now, this is north of the Austin area, up in the hill, or in the plains actually. You can see how it's really coming down strong. These are severe thunderstorm warnings already for that region. Now, all along the I-35 corridor, there's possibly, that in yellow, that's a severe thunderstorm watch, and that's where all the heavy stuff will occur tonight. Now, I'm not real worried about it because once the sun goes down, these are going to collapse. So I don't see them propagating down toward our area. So you know, we'll just know that they're there and we'll watch them. Tomorrow, which is Friday, we'll see a little bit more sun and we'll have a similar pattern to today. And with a little bit more sun, we say a little bit more temperature. We're looking for 86 tomorrow, then 84 on Saturday, but that's when the front comes through and get a load of Sunday in the low 70s. That'll be very nice. But the question is, what time is the rain? And we'll have that coming up in a moment. Notice how the front is already in North Texas. We are in the 80s, obviously, a few 90s down south, but right behind the front, you've got some 60s all the way up into the Panhandle. So that's how you analyze the front. You look at the map, you see the observations, and you go, okay, the line goes here, and then under here, and that's how you draw a frontal system. And of course, you put the little points on it to determine the direction at which it's taking. All right, so here's that big stuff in the central part of the state right about now. We are going to be watching Future Tracker take it to East Texas and the stuff out west of us to fall apart this afternoon in 2-3 hours when the sun goes down. Then we'll go all the way to Friday and we'll see a little bit more sun, and then we'll start seeing the big stuff develop up here. There's a sunrise on Friday, and that's the stuff that's going to arrive in our area after sundown. So if you got plans, just consider for Saturday we'll have a little bit of rain activity in the evening and overnight hours. There we go all the way to Sunday 6 p.m. You can see how that will be arriving here probably 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. So here's our front that we have over us right now. That will slowly traverse the state. Then Saturday it picks up a little steam. That's why it moves through. And then of course high pressure is going to give us a couple of nice days afterwards. Sunday it's going to be nice, and I'm excited about 70s because will it be the last ones we see for the summer? That's a big question mark. Tomorrow, cloudy in the morning, sunny in the afternoon, 82 the high in Port Lavaca. Cloudy in the morning, sunny in the afternoon, 80, 82 in Cuero. And you see your 7-day forecast. Friday still on the warm side. Saturday night showers and clearing up and a little bit cooler for early next week. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody, we do have QR code. We'd love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's Zach Brown with your sports.
The Goliad Tiger Reds just completed a great turnaround, getting a district title in Victoria East with a shot to clinch a playoff spot. That's in sports. We had a signing this morning in Edna. It was a key piece to that basketball team, that being Kashia Robinson, who has signed to play at Arlington Baptist. The star point guard could do it all for Edna, was named the district's offensive MVP for the Cowgirls. According to Max Prep, she averaged 10 points a game, 4.5 assists, and 9.6 boards. In my time being able to see the star point guard in action, she definitely stuffs the stat sheet across the board and did a lot of dirty work that helped propel Edna a few rounds deep into the postseason. Day 2 of the regional golf tournament this morning at the club at Colony Creek, and the results are in. The athlete who performed the best from our area schools was Bryn Passmore of Calhoun, who finishes 47th overall, coming in at plus 61 on the 2 days. Her fellow Sandy Trinity Morgan is tied at 53, shooting a plus 67, and Jillian Tanner right behind her at plus 68. We also had Cuero's Addie Chalek finishing 64th, shooting a plus 74. We get ready for a huge tiebreaker game tonight at the sports complex, but one team that did not need a tiebreaker, the Goliad Tigerettes, who had an incredible turnaround and just went undefeated in district play, taking home the district championship. Last week, head coach Jody Price says she is a firm believer in you reap what you sow, and that the girls were beginning to see their hard work turn into success. A district championship after having a losing record last year. Quite the turnaround. Now, for that game that I was talking about over at the sports complex, Victoria East with a playoff spot right within their grasp, and the North Zone on the line tonight against Gregory Portland, the Wildcats. Last time the Titans faced the Wildcats, they lost 8-3, and they also got swept in the season series. But it is tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. Titans hoping a third time is the charm and getting the biggest win of their season. Now, this season has not been kind in the early going for the Houston Astros. After losing last night, the Braves completed the 3-game sweep. Houston was swept only 4 times all of last season. They've been swept 3 times in the early going. A big talking point for Houston. What will they do at first base? Jose Abreu is batting .078, and prized free agent relief pitcher has been lit up. What was thought to be a great 1-2 punch for the 8th and 9th inning. Houston has a 6.62 ERA from the 8th inning on. That is the worst in baseball. And their record 6-14 on the year, chasing the Texas Rangers, who won yesterday and just got done finishing a win over the Detroit Tigers earlier this afternoon. Their AL West lead now sits at 5 games over the Houston Astros, who are in last place in the division. Next up, the Rangers get the Braves, who are hot and fresh off their sweep over Houston. Those games will be in Atlanta. That is it for your sports. Donna, Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. And we're back in a moment. Cicadas are coming to some parts of the country, and we have tips on them for you and your pets.
And finally tonight, 2 broods of cicadas are coming. That's left some pet owners wondering if they harm dogs or cats. Cicadas don't sting or bite, so you don't have to worry about that. They're also non-toxic. If your dog or cat eats one, it should be no problem, unless the pet has a problem with things like shellfish, okay? Because the cicadas have shells.
Yep.
Experts also say animals that are sensitive to loud noises may be bothered by the sounds of cicadas. If your pet is one of those, take the same measures you do for thunderstorms or fireworks. You've got about a month to prepare, and then about a month of cicadas.
They are loud.
Yes.
They make a lot of
Irritating.
noise.
Yes.
They go.
How do they go back? Okay.
And by the way, the only place in Texas you may be able to see them is like far northeast part, like Arkansas, Oklahoma. That may be the only one.
We'll be hearing them.
You were on the road today.
Yes, I had a chance to go visit with the Rotary Club of Cuero at the Country Club. I did a lecture on weather, and nobody went to sleep. It was awesome. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm going. Usually, weather-wise, we've got another warm day on Friday, and then that rain chance comes in on Saturday night. Hopefully, it'll be gone by Sunday morning, and it will be cooler on Sunday.
All right, and I'm sure the Cuero people were very happy to see you there.
They were very good, and I appreciate the invitation.
All right. Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.